Okay, hi. Welcome to my stream. I am trying something new here with a little audio in the background, but I don't know. I can't tell if it's coming through or not. So I'm going to ignore it for now. Hopefully it's working. If it's not too loud, or maybe it's too quiet, I have no idea. I tried doing a recording locally just to see how it sounded, and it sounded okay, but I don't know. So where were we? We were working on restoring randomness. Okay, yes, we're working on the what was it called? BSP? No. Maze Builder Drunkard's Walk. That was what we did a long time ago, right? I've forgotten the name of the walker we added last time, or the builder we added last time. Let's pull it up real quick. Yeah, DLA builder. That was it. So we created a bunch of different DLA builders, which can generate, depending on the parameters used, can generate very different maps. The one thing we weren't able to get working properly was the map that walked outwards, because it seemed like it didn't properly draw outwards. This is the fatter digging area. We had this, where was it? It's open area, wider carving trunk. Oh yeah, so this is the second version of this. Okay. So, what's next? What do we got? Voronoi, Hive, and cell maps. Okay. So let's just make sure we've got everything pushed. Yeah, we do. Git status is clean. And we're good. All right. So if anybody can hear the music in the background and it's too loud or too soft, just let me know. Meanwhile, we've touched on Voronoi diagrams before in our spawn placement. In this section, we'll use them to make a map. The algorithm basically subdivides the map into regions. So we did that. We did the subdivision thing with the binary split one, right? Where we'd split it up into different regions and then do a subdivision of those. But this sounds like it does something similar and places wall between them. The result is a bit like a hive. You can play with the distance adjacency algorithm to adjust the results. All right, so let us start over here by doing a copy of source map builders, and I don't remember which one's a good one anymore. Cellular automata, sure. Source map builders and Voronoi RS. Okay, so this is our scaffolding. CFB, CTB. There we go. And this should be a Voronoi. Oops. In previous stages, we skimmed over actually how to make a diagram. Right, we're not. Where's the struct for this? I'm trying to look for the struct, and I don't see a struct. All right, previous usages, we've skimmed over how to make a diagram and relied on the fast noise library inside of our LTK. That's all well and good, but it doesn't really show us how it works. The first step in making some Voronoi noise is to populate a set of seeds. These are randomly chosen, but not duplicate seeds on the map. And we'll make a number of seeds variable so it can be tweaked later, and here's the code. So we're generating those. And then we determine each cell's membership. Okay. And then, so this is just doing the build. So this is all internal. We definitely need a map starting position. Oops. Voronoi. Like that. Let's change all of these guys first, and then try to determine. We do need, I'm not sure if we need noise areas. It's not showing anything about noise areas here, but let's comment it out for now since it's not in the code, and we will just replace all of this. I'm going to leave the starting position stuff in here because we're going to need it at some point, right? Okay. So this is interesting. This is a vec of tuples of, looks like integers and floats and seeds. I don't know where we're getting n seeds from. Let's just say let n seeds. 64 is quite a lot, but will give us a relatively dense. Oh, I'm too fast. Okay, so 64. Voronoi seeds is a vector of, right, the usize an RLTK point. Okay, and then while my seeds len plus an n seeds. This is certainly one way to do it. Let vx all dice 1 to self map width -1, and y is the height, and then vidx self map xy index. So we're creating this tuple of an RLTK point and vx, vy, and the index. So that way we don't have to calculate the index each time, maybe? Okay, so here's the seeds and contains thing. But this is using a vector instead of a hash map. This might work better as a hash map, but let's see. Because this is an O of n search. I mean, there's only 64 of them, so O of n for the in this case is not going to be a big deal. But basically, we're generating 64 starting locations, 64 distinct starting locations. Right. All right. Then we go to the distance here. Oops. This gets a semicolon. So we have 0 and self map width as usize. Can't type today. Self map height as usize. I think that's all it is, right? Because they're just grabbing a membership array for the entire map. And then for I and bid in Voronoi membership enumerate. So we grab the XY location. Either to divided by the width, and for seed and pause in Voronoi seeds, enumerate distance alg Pythagoras squared distance 2d. Wow. RLTK point new xy and pause.1. So pause.1 is going to be this point here, right? Because pause.0 is the vid x. Are we using that anywhere? Voronoi distance for the seed equal to the seed distance tuple. Okay. Oh, what did I mess up? That goes with that. That goes with that. Yeah, it's not indenting properly, so I messed something up. That matches. Oh, enumerate here. Okay. Here we go. And then Voronoi distance sort by AB. A.1.partial compare to B.1 unwrap. And we're going to modify the vid. Voronoi distance of 0.0 as I32. Okay. So Voronoi distance of 0 is going to be seed, right? And the seed comes from here, from the Voronoi seeds, which contains the x coordinate. I guess it should already be an I32, right? Because it's being put in here from this. And that returns a U size. I don't remember. All right. So we create a new vector called Voronoi distance. We create a Voronoi membership vector. For every tile in the membership, we obtain an enumerator and calculate the XY position of the tile. And for each entry in the seeds, we obtain the index via enumerate. That says I right here. Right, we calculate, so it's interesting, we're using the enumeration. So we're going over each cell in the map. We sort the Voronoi distance by vector by the distance, so the closest seed will be the first entry, and we set the Voronoi ID to the first entry in the distance list. Each tile is given a membership of Voronoi group, to whom's, I don't think that's right, seed is physically closest. And now we use this to draw the map. All right, let's come over here and get the map drawn. Self map, right? -1, x in 1. Self map width -1. We got neighbors, and we got my IDX, self map XY IDX XY, my seed. Membership IDX, and then we're going to check each membership to see if we're in. Okay. Self map XY IDX x -1 y not equal to my seed plus equals 1. So we can do that 4 times and then change these guys so it's x plus 1 and then y -1 and y plus 1. Right? And then if neighbors is less than 2, self map tiles my IDX tile type 4. And then we take a snapshot after every row. Right? And it should look like this. So let's pull it in to our map builder. So we mod Voronoi, use Voronoi star, just like all the others. We're going to make this guy 16. We're going to put this guy here as 1 box new. Voronoi builder, new depth. So that links it into that. And then these two will get, will get commented out, and we'll move these up to 17. All right. Let's see what breaks. Okay, I missed it closing. Yeah, somewhere in here. Oh, I forgot all of the close brackets on these guys. All right. Oh, and the noise areas. Yeah, we don't have any noise areas yet. So let's comment this code out here for now. Because we do need to generate the noise areas at some point. And does not have that field. Otherwise, you know, AG. Okay. And there's the noise areas again. Oh, yeah, so we calculate it right there. Oh, all right. So that means I can put this back and put this back because we calculated separately to the generation of the map. Okay, that worked. Let's build it and see what kind of map it generates. It should be similar to this, right? Until it panics. Yeah. Look at that. It's kind of working. And we also have the code which draws connections between each of the regions. So that gives us our little doorways here. Okay, that's pretty neat. And that went relatively quickly compared to other map drawing things we've done. Right. Let me take a look at how we do the doors between the regions again. Because that's in here? No. Remove unreachable areas. Returning most distant. So at some place we add doors. But I guess that's not. Yeah, I don't know. I've forgotten how we added doors, but I thought we went through like region by region and added connections to them. Let me take a look at the common code. This is the code that does it, and it just checks distance. It says if it can't find any connection within 200, oops, then it's not in the map, and it should be filled back in with floor, right, or with wall. And then this is the code to generate the regions of the spawning areas, which is fine. But at some point there has to be a thing that connects up these regions, and maybe it's just the way the walls are drawn that there's enough of a gap in between the I don't know. This is something I need to learn. Okay, well, I mean, this is working, so let's check in with Clippy first before we do anything else. Okay. And git add source, git status, git commit added. Oh, we gotta restore the randomness first. I almost missed that part. Right. Let's put this back. Commit -m added Voronoi Map generation. And let's push that up to GitHub. All right, yeah, this was all the work we did yesterday. Forgot to check, and then there's the Voronoi map. Okay, so we got the Hive map going, and now we can do tweaking the Hive. Oh, there are two obvious variables to expose to the builder, the number of seeds and the distance algorithm to use. So we'll update the structure signature to include these. All right. So let's take a look at that. It's got everything else, and end seeds now becomes a variable in here. distance algorithm, distance algorithm. Okay, and then we update the builder code to use that. Right, so the seeds, the end seeds here become self end seeds. Let's set up a default values for them first. So it was 64, right? Yep. And this becomes self. And then the only other one was the distance algorithm, and it looks like we have Pythagoras, Manhattan, or Chebyshev? Chebyshev? I don't know how to pronounce that. And we'll need a default, right? We're just using Pythagoras for the default case. Distance algorithm. Pythagoras, right? And then we'll just do the switch right over here. So let distance equal, and then it has this, and I'm gonna do the let distance equals match. That way we don't have to set it in here. We can just return it. So if this is distance algorithm Pythagoras, and then we have the other two being Manhattan and Chebyshev. So we're going to just return, let's see, just that and pos.1. Okay. So this becomes just this. Distance 2D point pos 1. Oh, that's all it is. Okay. Let me just change that to a comma there. Right? And then we change this here. Let's grab that. Because they're almost the same. Except this is Manhattan. Right? And this is Chebyshev. Right? Those are the only differences. And then we can close the match. The let match. And then we set that to the seed and distance, right? Nothing else changes. As a test, let's change the constructor use Manhattan distance. Notice how the lines are straighter and less organic looking. Okay, so let's try that. Let's change the default to Manhattan. See if it builds. It's going to give us, oh, I was going to say it was going to give us warnings. Where does distance algorithm come from? It must come from RLTK, right? Use RLTK distance algorithm. Right? Nope, it's not from there. So, oh, we have to invent it. Okay, no problem. So let's just put it up here. I missed that. All right, we're down to one error. Oh, and this should be self-end seeds. Yeah, so the warnings, I think, are just that we're not initializing either one of those. Yeah, Pythagoras and Chebyshev are not being used. So let's, I have to go back to the mod. Oops, mod here, and then change this again. I need to come up with a better way of doing this. But yeah, we do want that Voronoi builder. And then maybe later here we're going to create different, yeah, Pythagoras and Manhattan and random builder. We'll just use one of those three. We should use all three, right? Otherwise there's no point in having them. Okay, yeah, so you can see that these diagonal lines are everything is very straight as opposed to kind of curvy as the last time was. A little curvy, and this one's very straight. Okay. So that worked. Let's go and take a look at the two different constructors they have here. I'm going to do all three. The only thing they're not changing is the number of seeds. It's still 64 for both. So I'm not sure what we were going to do with that, but let's leave it there. Voronoi. And then what we'll do is we'll create, like we did with the other one. What did we do with the DLA? We created a default. Yeah, we implemented a default, so we'll do the same thing here. And it's just going to be, I got a spinning wheel of doom. I think my computer's trying to do too much. Voronoi builder, so we need these guys here, right? So that's that, that's that. We got the depth of one, noise areas, and then we have the seeds and distance algorithm. And we'll make these guys the default. Right? And then we can, in here, do a Pythagoras, we can do Manhattan. Depth is new depth. Starting position doesn't need to be done here. History is done, and we can just say default. Default for this, right? And then we'll do pub fun Manhattan. Voronoi builder. Voronoi builder. Let's just grab these. And we're going to change the distance algorithm. To be distance algorithm Manhattan. Right? That closes that, and then we can just grab this one more time and make this a Chebyshev. How do you spell it? Chebyshev. Chebyshev. That should check, although we should still get warnings because we're not using these functions yet. Oh, we got an error. Oh, because we don't have that one. Okay, Pythagoras. And down here we'll do 17 and 18. Like this. 17, 18. And this will be Manhattan. And this will be Chebyshev. Okay. And that should get rid of the warnings too. Good. Okay, so those are our new builders. There's the new distance algorithm code. These are the constructors. And then we chose these. Okay, let's see what cargo format does to that code. Probably going to stretch it out like this a little bit. Yeah, I gotta uncomment those. That looks fine. Okay. It's a little ugly, but it put braces around here. Interesting. And it didn't put braces around this one, but it put braces around this one. These two. All right. Mod.rs. And then now we're up to 19 of these guys. I'm just going to say it builder equals 1. There's no reason to change that every time. Okay. Vary the style of the Voronoi maps. Let's push that up. Over here. There we go. And that's Voronoi Hive. All right. So how are we doing in terms of mappage? We're about halfway through the map section. All right, let's keep going. We're up to the wave function collapse. A few years ago, wave function collapse exploded into the procedural generation scene. Apparently magical, it took images in and made a similar image. Demo showed it spitting out great looking game levels, and the amazing Caves of Cud started using it for generating fun levels. Canonical demonstrations along with the original algorithm in C#, various explanatory links and ports may be found here. Let's take a look. Oh, wave function collapse. Interesting. Oh, that's kind of neat. Wow. Sounds like a lot of work though. So we're going to implement it from scratch and apply it to making fun roguelike levels. There's a crate with the original algorithm available. It seemed pretty good in testing, but I had problems making it work with WebAssembly. I also didn't feel like I was teaching the algorithm by just saying import this. Yeah. All right, so this is a longer chapter. We'll see how far we can get before we have to call it a stream. Oh, and then, right. The other thing I was going to do was briefly talk about advent of code, which, oh, apparently I'm not logged in. Let me go log in over here. And then put that back over there. Sorry for the pause here. Once I log in, then I can bring it back. It's being slow. I'm not sure what, there we go. Log in. Come on. All right, for some reason it's not letting me log in. All right, well, I'll log in offline then, and then basically what advent of code is, if you haven't heard of it before, is a set of 25 programming puzzles, and it's going to unlock in 16 hours and 13 minutes. I'm not going to be up in 16 hours and 13 minutes because that's midnight my time, midnight EST, but I will be doing it tomorrow morning for the stream, getting advent of code stuff done. And so I'm going to take a break from roguelikes for now, although this first problem is probably going to go very quickly. We'll probably get it done in about 15-20 minutes. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. And so maybe we can continue with wave function collapse after that. But we're going to get started with a WFC now. All right, so it's unlike map generation algorithm we've used so far, it doesn't actually make maps. It takes source data scans them, and builds a new map featuring elements made exclusively from the source data. In the original implementation, the incoming data was a PNG file, divides the source image into tiles, either loads or builds constraints graphs, and then divides the output image into tile-sized chunks, sets them to empty. First tile is placed random and selects areas and examines the tiles that are already known, placing down tiles that are compatible with what is already there. Eventually it's placed all the tiles and you have a map. The name Waveform Collapse refers to quantum physics idea that a particle may not actually have a state until you look at it. Right. Tiles don't really coalesce into being until you pick one to examine. All right. So it looks like, oh, we're going to create a separate mod underneath map builders. And we had a lot of fun last time trying to figure out how to get that to work with map builders. So hopefully this will go a little bit more smoothly. So if I say Victor source map builders waveform collapse, and then we're going to create mod.rs with this. Oh, okay. So this is just a copy of let's say the Drunkard's Walk. Right. You don't need that or that. But we can change these to Waveform Collapse. Oh, yeah, let's not do all of those. So we have a map, a starting position, a depth, a history, and noise areas. We don't need drunkard settings. So that means we can get rid of settings here. And we don't need settings here. Something went weird there with the new. And then we can get rid of these guys, right? Boom, 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 boom. And here's build. This is all the same. Right? And then we have what I was just looking at. Map, starting position, depth, history, noise areas. And then we have the build. Okay. We've got the starting position, which is the middle. The start index is this, so this is all commented out. Okay, I'm going to pull this out here because we don't need any of this. This is all Drunkard Walk stuff. So that goes away, that goes away, that goes away, that goes away. All of this goes away. And then we have the exit tile. Okay, and they do have a take snapshot. This will comment out, and this will comment out. Right? And this is just to find a good starting position. Make sure it's not on make sure it is on a floor. Alright, so we'll also modify map build as mod.rs random builder function to always return the algorithm we're currently working with. So waveform collapse builder, but we need to be able to pull that in, right? Let's see how hard that is to do. I'm not using hash map, right? Oh, I am. Okay. All right, let's save that. Let's take look at this guy here, and I might have to say something else. Mod waveform collapse, and then use it, right? Like that. And I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll find out. If we're lucky, Rust is going to be super smart about it. And then I can just move this guy down here. This is a 19. Make this a 19. Nope, no, a 1, and then 1 is going to be box of waveform collapse. No. I've got a feeling we're going to need to do a little more than this, but let's find out. Yeah, use of undeclared type waveform collapse. So I think having that as the mod, that's the other error. Oh, we don't have a start index yet. The exit tile. Yeah, we never set one here. I'm looking for start IDX. Yeah, it's commented out. Okay. So I'm going to put it back in just for now, but so it looks like we're actually building it. Maybe it couldn't find it. Waveform Collapse Builder. Just make sure I typed it in right. Oh, I didn't. Good. Okay, so maybe it was all working. Builder. I still have an error. Private associated function. Did I forget the pub? I forgot the pub. Okay, wow, that all worked. Okay, that went a lot more smoothly than the last time we had to add an extra module to this thing. All right, so loading the source image in RexPaint. You may remember back in section 2, we loaded a RexPaint file. Yeah, I skipped that though. Okay. Here's the original in RexPaint. Tried to include some interesting shapes, silly face, plenty of corridors and different sized rooms. Here's the second RexPaint file designed to be more like the old board game The Sorcerer's Cave. These can be found in the resources directory as WFC Demo 1 and WFC Demo 2. Huh. Okay, so the resources directory I think was something that they talked about way back, maybe here in the introduction. No. Let's go for resources. Right. Let's just look for resource out there. Okay, here's resources.zip. All right, and I never actually downloaded this, so let's download this now. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay, and then it's probably in the downloads. Oh yeah, there's the loopback stuff I'm playing with now. Here's resources. Okay, so I should be able to unzip. Ooh, I don't want to mess up my working directory here. Let me go up one and unzip it here. Okay, so it did come up with a resources directory, and what were they called again? We were on Waveform Collapse. And they were called, oh, WFC Demo 1 XP and WFC Demo 2 XP. And those are not in the resources. Okay. Then I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at GitHub. And take a look. Oh, there's no, do we have resources here? I see map builders. I do not see resources. Huh. There's Waveform Collapse. Let's take a look. If they do a resources, yeah, resource WFC Demo 1 XP. It's right there. But it's not in the repo. Well, that's a little on the frustrating side. right? So I don't know if we can do this wave function collapse thing then. If we don't have, let's see, a small dungeon in WFC demo 1. We don't even have small dungeon here either. Huh, okay. Well, that's a little on the frustrating side, as I said. I'm going to have to investigate that. Maybe we can take a look at a different map, prefabs and sectionals, and then I can come back to this once I've dug up the location of the resource files we need. Right? Okay, so we're going to skip that. Git stash. What do we have here? Git stash. Oh, and then we don't have this. Okay, so we can move this away for now. And put it in temp. And we'll come back to it. All right. Sorry for the false start there. I'm going to have to figure out where those maps are. But meanwhile, we can do... Uh-oh. We loaded a pre-made level without any entities. Okay, so this is just more of Waveform Collapse. Ah, okay. That's a shame. That's a shame. Room vaults. Designing room. Okay, so this might be cool, right? Talking about building rooms that are not just not just a standard room, but actually have some interesting design to them, right? Totally not a trap map. Okay, let's do this, and then once I figure out where the images are for the waveform collapse, we can go back to those. But again, I'm going to be taking a 25-day break to do Advent of Code. So let's see. Life of Roguelike developer is part programmer, part interior decorator. We've already designed whole levels and level sections, so it isn't a huge leap to designing rooms. Let's go ahead and build a few pre-designed rooms. We'll make a new file in prefab builders called prefab rooms rs. Okay. Map. Source map builders, prefab builders. The only thing is, I don't know if they talked about prefab builders before, if this is something, no, there's no prefab here. And then let me go back one more chapter. Yeah, so we'll make use of vaults and prefabs, but that's where they mentioned the first time. Okay, prefabricated. Yeah, so we need to create a mod. Oh, I see. Prefabricated levels and level sections. Right, so we did that in here. And we created a new prefab. So let's take a look at what... I think we just have to create the mod file for it, right? Come on. Prefab builders. Builder. Create prefab builder. So that's prefab builder. I also realized prefab builder will outgrow single file. So we'll just make it and rename it mod.rs. All right, so I guess that's the danger of skipping ahead, is that you end up with a situation where the one code depends on the other code. This is depending on Rex level. Oh, it's defining a Rex level with a static string. Interesting. And then creating this prefab builder And then we have to use these WFC demos. Okay, so why don't we take the stab now and find out where these WFC demos are. They should be on the web somewhere, right? Let's go here. WFC demo 1. What's it? Something like that. Rex assets. Okay. Map builders and raws. Let me put raws on. Nope. That's something ahead. What was the exact file name? Oops. I've lost my place. Waveform Collapse. And we're going to find a file called resources wc demo1.xp. So let's look for that. File finder. Oh, there we go. Okay, so a little hunting, and we managed to find it. It's a binary file, right? So View Raw just downloaded it for me. And what was the other one? WFC Demo 2. View Raw. So I got those two. Okay, so now we can just make a resources and copy downloads WFC demo into resources. Right? Okay, and then we can continue with Waveform Collapse. I thought it was going to be harder to do than that. Oh, we need small dungeon 80 by 50 XP as well. Is that here? Just want to say thank you to Smoku. Oops. Wow. My computer is really struggling. Yeah, just a thank you to Smoku here for having all of these files available in their repo. All right, so we're going to create we've created a Waveform Collapse builder. What was it? Git unstash? Nope. How do you destash? Git help stash. How do you unstash something? Push. Stash pop. Okay, so that was this change, right? Where we added the Waveform Collapse builder. Now we need to move the temporary Waveform Collapse directory into source map builders. And then just do a quick cargo check. Okay, so that worked. And here's our Waveform Collapse builder, right? And we want to add, modify Rex Assets XP to include new files. And we skipped over the whole Rex Assets thing. All right. So that's probably something we'll need to go back to. RexPaint menu, right here. And what we did was we created Rex Assets to store our sprites. Source Rex Assets RS. Use RLTK Rex XP file. RLTK embedded resource. Okay, so this is a macro. And this goes to resources small dungeon 80 by 50 XP. So this is in Yeah, so I'm going up 2 levels to get to resources. If we're in source, then we should only be going up 1 level. All right, so here's where we take another peek at this repo. Let's just take a look at here. Yeah, so source should have Rex assets. Yeah, right there. Yeah, it's just 1 up. See, dot dot. Okay, so it's only 1 level up. So that's a... I'm glad I checked that. All right, and then pub struct Rex assets, pub menu, XP file, and impl Rex assets. Allow quickly new without defaults. Pub fun new. I'm going to fix that by deriving default Rex assets. RLTK link resource small dungeon // resources small dungeon 80 by 50 .xp, and then we need to do it one more time. Rex assets menu XP file from resource unwrap. That's it. Right. Get rid of that, close these, and then we're going to just say derive default. And that's not gonna, that's going to check because we're not including it in main. So we're going to have to add that to main. And looks like we have to do a GS ECS insert Rex assets new, like that. And now it's going to fail. So this should have come from here, right? Because we're able to get all the other ones. Oh, you know what? I put those in a separate tutorial subdirectory. Yeah, okay, so move source, Rex, tutorial, source tutorial. Oh, and now I do need to go up 2 levels. Rex. Yeah, there's Rex assets. 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 Okay. So this we'll have to figure out. Oh, I probably have to add it to mod, right? But let me add the extra. Now that I took them out, I put them back in again. All right, and then up here, we'll open mod and say pub mod Rex assets, pub use Rex assets star. Go check. 2 errors. All right. Oh, so it's actually looking for the file and it's not able to find the file. XP file default. Oh, that's why we can't do default. Okay. Then we have to implement it ourselves or use this clippy thing, new without default. Okay. Couldn't read source tutorial ... resources small dungeon. Oh, it's actually looking for the file. Okay. The G key on my laptop is sticky, so that's why that didn't type. Still couldn't read it. Should be there. oh, source tutorial dot 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 resources. Oh, because I didn't copy it over. Okay. There we go. So now will it build? It does. Okay, that's good news. And so we insert it here, and then in GUI RS we'll find the main menu function and add these guys here: CTX render XP sprite. Okay. Right, and main menu. There it is. So we don't clear the screen anymore. So before we do all of this, I guess we'll do this. Let assets, GS ECS fetch, Rex assets, like that. CTX render XP sprite, assets menu 0, 0. Sprite, like that. Cargo run to see it. Okay. Well, I mean, does it build? Should have done a check first. Not found in the scope. I have to add it here. Cargo check. Okay. And while that builds, I'm going to try to log into Advent of Code again. All right, so that built. We'll load the assets. Whoa, that's pretty cool. That's neat. Okay, so the asset is getting loaded and it's coming through just fine. I had skipped this because I was worried it was going to be annoying with all the WASM stuff and having to embed the file in there. Okay, so let's just do this stuff here, and then maybe tomorrow we can start on the waveform collapse. All right, let me try just real quick. I'm going to log in one more time here. Identify myself using GitHub. There I am. Okay, so I'm logged in now. So I should be able to hit refresh over here. Yep, there I am. Okay, very good. So this is what we're going to be doing tomorrow, but today we're going to just finish this up. Status. We're going to ignore the waveform collapse change and the map builder mod RS. So I'm just going to add these guys and the resources. Okay. So what are we doing? Oh, we're back in GUI, right? And after we draw the main menu, right? After we do the assets, then we're going to draw box double. Yeah, see we have, oh, okay. So we got a couple extra lines in here. CTX draw box double, 2418. I love it when magic numbers get embedded in your code. RGB named RLTK wheat. And RGB named RLTK black. Right? And then we have print color centered, yellow, black, Rusty Roguelike tutorial. I'm just going to pull these up on one line so I can do copy, paste, paste like that. And then we have on line, that's 20, 21, and 22. I'm going to change this to cyan and gray. I'm going to change this to the author. Herbert Wolverson is the person who wrote this tutorial. That, right? So I'm guessing this box, draw box double, will fill in the background black. Let's find out. Cargo check. Nope. Doesn't like gray. Oh, because I didn't import it. Oh yeah, I imported it, just I called it gray. Okay. So let's build that. And refresh. And then, come on, here we go. Boom, okay. Yeah, no, that looks, oops, up, down. Did I forget the slash in there? Or is it ignoring it? There. Oh, I did. How did I miss the slash? Okay. So we're going to say git add source main source tutorial and resources. Right? These are the changes I made for this main menu thing, and we're going to get back to the waveform collapse stuff in a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so it's just calling Waveform Collapse Builder, and that's why the map is going really quickly, because we're actually doing anything. All right, and if I say begin new game, it shouldn't work, right? Because we're stuck in, yeah, we don't have a map to play with yet. That's okay. Refresh. Boom. All right, so that looks really neat, right? Fixing the spacing. What's wrong with the spacing? Spacing looks fine to me. Oh, you notice if you don't have a save game to load, there's an annoying gap between the menu items. This is an easy fix by keeping track of the Y position we have used while we render the menu. Here's the new menu rendering code. All right. I guess we could do that. Nothing there. GUI. And then menu. Yeah, this get stretched out here, right? If selection is new game. Oh, I did a use, didn't I? Yeah, right here. So that it would make the code smaller, but the code's still pretty crazy. If let run state main menu selection is run state. So then we get the selection that way, and then we can do it this way. And now what we're doing is, instead of doing 24, 25, and 26, we're just saying y plus equals 1. So let mute y equals 24, and then we say y and y, and then we say y plus equals 1 here. This becomes y and y, and then y plus equals 1 inside the save exists check, and this becomes y and y, right? Okay, let's build that. Refresh. Boom. Okay, now there's no space between begin new game and quit. Let's take a look at, I do have a savegame.json here. Let me save it off. Right? So we can use that again if we need to. And then I should be able to do a cargo run release and see that here. And then we should be able to see the load game menu in there too. It's just a little slow. You know, I have the stream playing. Oops. I have Pretzel Rocks playing in the background with music, but I can barely hear it myself. But I have my sound turned down a little bit. So let me raise that a little bit and I can compare. All right, so there we go. It's tiny, but it's there. If I do this, it's all mushy because I can't keep the ratio correct. But at least we can see, now we can see all three of them. If I hit quit, it did quit the game. And it left the save game alone. Okay, so I think it's working. Oops. Come on. There we go. So let's just add that back. Git add source tutorial. Right? And then git commit -m. Added background image using Rex or Rex based background image for opening screen. All right, and git push that. And here are my commits right here. Yeah, all right, so that's not too bad. And then we have left is these guys, the Waveform Collapse, which is the stuff we were about to start on with the mod there. And so I'm not gonna push this up yet because there's a lot more work to do before there's anything resembling something that works. So let's go to wave function collapse. And so again, I'm going to be working tomorrow on Advent of Code. I will be doing it in Rust. And but the first few days, maybe the first 3 days, might be relatively easy, so it'll only take me a little bit of time to get through, hopefully. Again, hopefully not jinxing myself. And then once we get through those, I will continue with the roguelike stuff. The later days in Advent of Code do get more and more complicated, and so I could end up making very long streams as a result. But meanwhile, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to call this a stream, and wish you all a good day. Hope to see you tomorrow, and thank you for joining. Take care.